This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
We're back to the continuation of the story from minutes ago.
If you missed any,
Catch it on the Morning X podcast. This is the best of the Morning X with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.
We're talking to Henry Hill, of course, subject to the movie Goodfellas, and wrote the book Wise Guy, has a website, goodfellahenry.com. Henry, can you tell us what was going through your body the day that you knew in the courtroom, or while you were sitting up on the stand and you had to finger Jimmy Conway and Paulie? Well, of course, Tommy was dead, but your former friends. What does that feel like?
You know, it wasn't fair. It didn't feel good, but, you know, at that point, I already knew I was doing the right thing. You know, I mean, these were some vicious, treacherous people. They tried to get my wife at the end. I mean, these people do know, you know, I mean, they killed every one of my partners. You know what I mean? It was, I had no remorse. You know what I mean? I felt almost relieved, like I was going to confession. You know what I mean? Trying to wipe the slate clean.
Well, you also thought they were going to come after you because you were hooked. I mean, well, you were hooked.
They were going to come after me.
It was only a matter of time.
Well, you had a drug problem at the time, and were kind of screwing things up for them.
Well, they put me in the drug business after the robbery. They were in the heroin business.
Do mobsters really wear the jumpsuits like that?
Oh yeah.
The warm-ups.
The Adidas.
The funniest picture I have in my head is the fact, when you guys were in prison, I guess you and all your associates took up tennis.
I was a good tennis player.
And seeing you guys all show up with your tennis whites, that had to be a pretty hysterical scene looking back on.
We had clay courts in Lewisburg.
In prison, they had a clay court.
Clay courts. I mean...
That's great. Henry, we got some people who want to ask you questions and stuff. Let's go to
shoot, but
Mike.
Not too,
Yeah, I know. Mike, go ahead. You're on with Henry Hill.
Hey, Henry, how's it going?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a big fan of Goodfellas, my favorite movie in the world.
One of the best
to
ever.
this day, and the book as well.
Yep.
And I want to know how many people you actually whacked.
I never whacked nobody.
So he says.
Well, in the movie,
I was there when a lot of whacks went down.
Yeah, in the movie, it doesn't ever show you killing a guy. I mean, it shows you pistol whipping a couple people,
I'm going to tell you, I got transactional immunity. I mean, I could have admitted to 50 murders if I had done them. I was there. I wasn't a whacker, but they would bring me just to watch me puke because they used to get their rocks off that way.
Well,
Tommy loved it, right?
I mean, he used to like he got more of a kick out of me puking after he killed a guy than killing a guy, and he loved to kill.
And he knew that it wasn't in your blood to do that.
But I didn't have to. I was an earner. You know what I mean? They had the guys that. I mean, I've done a lot of miserable things in my life. A lot of them that I got a lot of. Amends that I make on a daily basis today. You know what I mean?
I mean, you weren't really a strong arm. You're a money guy.
I was a money, yeah.
How do you sleep at night now? Wondering if you're gonna get whacked the next day.
Hey, I sleep real good. My Rottweilers roam my ranch. Don't worry about it. But America's a good country when you do the right thing.
Yeah, but you know very well that if somebody wants you dead, they can make you dead. And
listen, let them find me in cyberspace.
But it is, I mean, you are somewhat public about this. You're on the radio right now. You've got books, websites. Why are you so public about this, not so concerned that your life could be in jeopardy?
Listen, last week I spent 3 days with the feds doing seminars in Houston, D.C. The feds look out for me. They got a lot of informants out there. They got a lot of wiretaps. I'm under their umbrella.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the witness protection programs. That's a fascinating, got to be a fascinating way to live.
You and the family all in.
How long were you in it?
I was in it for actually 3 years until I started to earn some money, with the movie, with the book, and I couldn't live the way they wanted. They do a great job. I'm going to tell you that.
Tell people.
They protect you.
Explain exactly what your limitations are, what your parameters are.
I mean, you can't use a phone. You got to go to their office, to call your family.
They give you a new name, right?
They give you a new name. I mean, they clean the records up. My kids are doing a book about it now, through their eyes, and it's to me, they gave me another chance in life. What I mean?
When they removed you from the program,
when they removed me, the FBI took over.
Was that because you had violated certain? What were your violations exactly?
DUIs, a lot of stuff. A lot of. But basically, I couldn't. I wasn't prepared to live like a schnook. You know what I mean?
When they take you out, Henry, do they remove that name from the system and just wash it away?
It doesn't exist anymore.
The name that you had?
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Can you tell us what the name was?
No, I can't.
Okay. When they took you out of the system,
I had 3 different names.
I was just curious if it's something that's secret or.
When they took you out of the system, were you scared at that point?
Sure, but I'll tell you, when I flipped and when I turned my life over and turned it around, I did it 101% because if you lie to those people and they catch you in a lie, they could prosecute you for every single thing.
Really?
You've told them.
So the whole deal is off at that point.
Yeah, I mean it's null and void if you try to bullshit them.
Okay, so when you get out of the program, I mean they really do own your life.
Sure they do.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Another listener wants to talk to you. Hey, David, you're on with Henry Hill.
Hi. My first question was, why do you think the American public has such a fascination with organized crime?
Especially recently.
Yeah. It's not only the American public. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I get literally hundreds of emails a day. I get millions of hits a month. I mean, it's crazy. I have no idea. It absolutely... I think precariously people want to be a part of that life. But I'll tell you, if they had to walk in my moccasins for about 2 hours in one day, they would completely change their mind about living that kind of life.
Do the people in your neighborhood, in your town, and of course we don't know where you live, do the people in your town know who you are? Do they know your background?
Do they have any idea?
A few people recognize me, but I don't make myself too public. I get recognized once in a while, and I work in recovery. I share my story. I try to help kids today. You know what I mean?
Does the federal government have frown on you doing radio interviews like this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, why not?
Well, I mean, I'm not glorifying it. I'm telling them how it is.
Has there, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, has there been any known pursuance of anybody of you that you've ever found out about?
Sure, there has a couple. There's kids that want to make a reputation and whack me. But like I said, there's the government's got a good pulse on it. You know what I mean?
I just, it just seems to me that one of the things that you learn in America is that if somebody wants you dead, and certainly with organized crime, they can get to you.
Let me tell you something. These guys got their own problems, most of them.
Right.
They could care less, you know what I mean?
Well, what was the closest call you had where you thought you were going to buy the farm?
A lot of them. Like I said, I lived in fear most of my life.
Tell us a story.
I'll tell you a story. I was in California once, and I walk into a bar near Santa Anita, and there's two guys that I grew up with. they were on a lamb out here. You know, it was a bar near the racetrack, and they came after me. I mean, but the feds were there in 5 minutes. You know, and they wind up nailing the both of them.
They were just two young guys you knew back on the streets?
Well, they were my age. One of them was my age. And you want to know something? Both of them got whacked since.
So who's the top guy now of all?
There's a lot of you know when I was in that life 25 years ago, you know, we used to want to hang out with the celebrities. Today the gangsters want to be the celebrities.
Right.
I mean, it's insane.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people, you know, looking to make names for themselves out there. They're crazy.
Well,
they want to be stars.
That's what led to John Gotti's downfall, is that he wanted to be a star.
Well, that's exactly what led to his downfall.
We're talking to Henry Hill if you're just tuning in. Of course, the book Wise Guy based on his life, and then the movie Goodfellas. Is it as big now in New York as it was in the 70s?
It's huge in all the major cities, yours included.
See, I've never heard of the
Really
Italian mafia in Atlanta.
I mean, what are you talking about? The Gambino's got all the strip joints in there. What the heck are you guys?
You know, this is the first I've heard of any.
Too.
You know,
don't you guys make a bet once in a while on a game? Come on, what do you think? Don't you guys buy a people sell pot there? They sell coke. They sell heroin. Where do you think that comes from?
So all the bookies are.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anyway.
All right.
Well, Henry Hill, it was a pleasure talking to you, getting the insight of the man.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you guys.
Goodfellahenry.com. Thanks, Henry.
He's a good fella.
He is a good fella. Thank you, Henry.
You're welcome.
Henry Hill.
The best of the Morning X on 99X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The original 99X.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
I think the boundaries are getting a little unboundaried, but that's fine.
From relationships,
it's grabbing coffee with your friends. That is
right up my alley.
Right?
To business and beyond.
Where there's history, true friendships, but it's fine. I've also been a rat. I'm obsessed with her. I hate her. Literally the exact same feeling.
If you really want to party,
you have to have the perfect combination.
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.